If you want to get distinction in your masters, see, just carry a chair. Come here. This video is just for you. Hey besties, welcome and welcome back if you're new here. My name is Adaeze Osadebe and I'm also known as Adazempire. So if you're new here, I recently graduated and I tell every year that cares to hear that I graduated with a distinction because that is one of my proudest moments as a student because it did not come easy at all. In today's video, I'm not going to be telling you 10 study tips to pass, 8 study, there are so many videos like that. I'll be sharing my own experience in the Ada style. I'll be telling you what I think helped me and realistic ways for you to ace your academics and still have a life. So let me share a little bit about myself. When I was in university, I lived a very caged life, and by this I mean my only priority was my academics. Like, I wanted the first class in university, that's all. Now what happened as a consequence of that was that my main achievements, or the main things I focused on, just revolved around academics. Yes, I do not regret anything at all because I did the best I could at that time, but coming to the UK and doing my masters, I told myself, see, I will pass through school will pass through me. So I have a list of the things that I wanted to ace. Number 1, graduate with a distinction. Number 2, get a job that pays me as a student and I work by 20 hours every week. Number 3, do so well in my YouTube channel. Number 4, continue my fashion and sewing tutoring brand. Then number 5, dating. Now I'll gist you how I was still able to get a distinction and achieve almost every part of this. There is a myth that for you to get a distinction, you have to get all A's or everything has to be book. Is a lie. I was able to do almost all these things and still get the distinction. I don't want to go into the details about all these parts that I just mentioned, but just know that I was able to achieve a lot. Now, if you want to get the distinction, the first thing you want to do is to work on your mindset. See, if you can win it in your mind, you've won. If in your mind you are thinking, can I, that's not it. You have to see it. You have to believe it for yourself. If this is something you want to achieve, your mindset has to be right. I'll talk about mindset towards the end of this video. Moving on, the singular thing that would make you get a distinction is for you to prioritize your marking scheme. When they give you an assessment, there is a marking scheme. They would usually give you what they expect you to actually outline. Now, that is like your Bible. If you get an assessment, the first thing to do is to go to that marking scheme and reproduce what they expect of you. That is it. Now, this is something that I was able to do well. When I just started my masters, it was a flop. My first essay, I got a C. I think I got like 56. And I was like, what's going on? Me, 56, C, how? I went to meet my personal tutor. I told him, see, I got 56. And I never want to get anything like this again. So teach me, how can I get higher marks? And that's another tip. See, your personal tutor, your lecturers, hold them like this. This is the UK where a lot of lecturers want to see you succeed. Take advantage. Don't be shy. All my lecturers, they know me, Ada, they know me. When I talked to my personal tutor, he taught me that, number 1, I am not critically analyzing. I am just describing. Don't worry, I will talk about analysis later on. Not only that, he taught me that, see, this course outline, this marking scheme, that is how they mark. And if you notice, for our marking schemes, they will tell you from 0 to 50%, this is what you would have done. For 60 to 69%, this is it. Now they will tell you different grades that you would likely get based on what you put down. Now in all of my courses, I focused on the higher grades, the ones from 80 to 100%, because that's where my goal was. I wanted like high A's, not just 70. Like I wanted very high A's, and I focused on that. Now that greatly helped me. Let me tell you the main thing about this distinction. Even if you don't get all A's, you can still get a distinction. Yes, I did not get all A's in all my courses. I did not. Thankfully, the first course that I did that I got a C, it was not marked. It was just like testing, and that's something that most universities in the UK do. After that, going forward, I was getting B's and A's. So it was not just all A's. I had some B's in some courses. But the thing is that if you get A's and B's, the deciding factor would be your dissertation. Hi. See, if you can get an A in your dissertation, it increases the chances of you graduating with a distinction. I can't talk about dissertation exclusively here. There's going to be another video on dissertation. If there's something you want to see, just let me know in the comment section. So even though as at then, I'm not sure I was so strategic, deep down, I actually was very strategic about my courses. I knew that I could not afford to get a B in my dissertation, like no flipping way, because that would give me so much struggle, unless if I had all A's. And I don't even know anyone in my course that had all A's throughout, because this thing about masters is not just about essays. There will be some other forms of assessment. For some people, it could be exams. Some people, it could be group work. For me, I even had times where we did podcasts, group podcasts. And there are some times that some of your grades would be beyond your own control. For instance, if you're doing a group work, you're going to all be rated as a group. If people in your group are not serious, it would impact you. So no matter how intelligent you are, it may be difficult for you to get all A's everywhere. So it's good to manage your expectations in case you don't get all A's everywhere. Even if you don't get all A's everywhere, you can still absolutely graduate with a distinction. Especially for the new international students, I noticed that there is so much pressure when they see their first grades and what they get is not what they expect to get. Then that just makes a lot of people feel, I beg, there's no need, Joe, we'll just give up. Don't give up, because even if you start slowly, you can pick up and get that distinction. Now let's talk about critical analysis and synthesis. This is something that my personal tutor educated me about, because when I got that C, in my mind, I knew something. In my mind, I had written well, but what I had done was just to describe, and a lot of us just describe. Now, to describe is to just state what happened. For instance, let's talk about poverty in the UK. To describe is just to talk about poverty in the UK. Yes, you can quote some sources, but you're just describing. See, to critically analyze, you know when they call someone a critical person is scattering every part of that statement. That is how to critically analyze. You will not just say poverty in the UK is this. You will say, Ada said poverty in the UK is this. However, you bring another angle. Bimpe said, now you will not just end there. You will question. You will question their arguments. You will bring out loopholes. If there are limitations in their articles, you will bring those loopholes. Don't just take things as they are. If you just start writing as things are, that is you just describing. And that is university level. In your masters, you should be critical. Now, there are some things that would help you be very critical. Let me give you, I feel like I'm already talking a lot about this critical analysis, and it's supposed to be another video. There are some websites that will help you be critical. If you struggle with being critical, something that helped me was Manchester Academic Phrase Bank. So let me explain. The University of Manchester has an academic phrase bank, which is like a website where they help you if you struggle with critically analyzing. Now, in that website, you will see various phrases you can use for criticality, because all the words like however, nonetheless, in contrast, some people don't just know it by heart. So with that phrase bank, it will help you. You can right now just Google Manchester Academic Phrase Bank. You will see what I'm talking about. Another website that helped me was Scopus. Very good. In fact, there are various websites like that. You can also just Google critical phrases, and you will see various examples of phrases. Now, if you want me to do a comprehensive video on critical analysis, just let me know in the comment section and I'll be sure to share, because if you leave me, I will just keep talking about it. Now, in line with this critical analysis, something else that helped me is I don't just cite, I double cite. Sometimes I triple cite. One time I quadruple cited. Let me explain. By the way, I have a video on plagiarism which I'm going to be linking right now and also towards the end of this video, because it will help you if you struggle with citation. I don't have a video exclusively on citation, but if you want that video, let me know. Now, speaking of citation, to cite is just to refer an author. If an author, Ada said, poverty is prevalent more amongst men than amongst women, you're going to reference Ada, right? That's something I do. I would not just reference Ada, I would reference other people. So I will look for people that have said something similar to what Ada has said. So now, I'm not just citing Ada, I will cite Bingpe. Who else again? Let me give me another name. I will cite John. Like, I would double cite. Now, let me tell you what that tells your lecturer, that this person knows what she is doing, because it's not just copy and paste. Like, I did the work. It signals to your marker that, you know what you're talking about. And even when I am critically analyzing or I'm bringing a contradictory point by another author, most times I will double cite. If you cannot triple cite, you can at least double cite, meaning bring two authors that said the same thing and cross-reference them with each other. It would give you more points. Now, let me piggyback on what I was saying regarding the fact that I wanted to pass through school, not school just passing through me. I did not put myself under unnecessary pressure regarding academics. See, when I tell you I wanted to enjoy school and still do it effortlessly, for me, this was my method. Every single day, I read for at least an hour. I remember when I was telling my friend this, she was like, 1 hour? It's too small. But the thing is, people underestimate the importance of compounding interest. And this is not just about academics, it's in everything. Most times we just want that big break, but you will not do anything right now, even if it is small. It compounds. I told myself, see you, come rain, come sunshine, you must read for at least 1 hour every day. Once I've read for 1 hour, I've passed my goal for the day. Now, of course, there were some odd times when I ended up not reading for an hour. For instance, maybe when it's that time of the month for me and I'm in pain, or just some odd times like that. But what I would usually do, if I miss it, the next day, I double it. So if I miss 1 hour today, tomorrow, I'm reading for at least 2 hours, because that 1 hour has to be accounted for. I had, in short, see my... something like this. I'm not sure you can see it very well. So I'll put the dates and start marking. If I read in that day, I'll take it off. So that is what I was doing. I was so serious. And that 1 hour made a lot of difference, because I was not struggling. Like when it was time for assessment or exam, because for social work, we had some exams, we had some essays, we had some group work, podcasts, different. It was a variety of assessment. I was not under pressure, because when you read every day, your brain will be active. I don't know how it just works, but it just works. Your brain will be very active, and even though there will be some times when you may need to read some more, you at least have that basic knowledge. So that really helped me. Also, I know my time of the day that I retain very well. See, learn your time of the day. There are some times when book will not enter your head. Not because you are olodo, not because you don't know anything, but because it's not just that time. For instance, I can't read by this time. Right now, it is like afternoon. My head, it will be hot. Even thinking about it, my head is already hot. For me, I need a serene time. So it's usually quite early in the morning or late at night, most likely early in the morning. You see people that know how to read with music, with this, with that. That's not me. I can't. Now, I know my style. And the only way you can know your style is if you actually try, you actually experiment. If you don't, you would never know. Now, if you followed me for quite some time, you would know about the Pomodoro technique, which is that you read for a particular time, you get a little break, and you read for another time. So for me that wants to read for at least 1 hour, most times it's just like half Pomodoro and I'm done. Or if I'm doing 2 hours, it's just a full Pomodoro and I am done. And in line with reading every day, there was no procrastination. So most times for me, I would just start it earlier in the day so I would know that I've achieved my reading goal for that day. Now, this helped me even when I had the horror story on placement because I had started reading from the beginning. And the good thing is, I start reading from the beginning, like from day one. I'm not waiting till it's close to exam period, then I'm overwhelming myself, or close to when I'm submitting my assessment, then I will not sleep. No, I used to take my time and just read every day, 1 hour. That's it. Now, there's something else I did not say when I was talking about personal tutor. Do you know that before you submit your essays, your personal tutor can proofread some parts of it? Yes, for some schools they would have a percentage that they can proofread, maybe like 10%. For some schools they would have like some paragraphs, maybe they can proofread 1 paragraph. Now when they proofread your paragraph, you have an idea of what they expect from you. See, do not be scared. Those are personal tutors. You are paying big money, thousands of pounds. They are even happy when students come to them for assistance because that's their job. Apart from your personal tutors, in your class there may be some people that are very smart. It doesn't make you less. If you know someone knows more than you, go and ask them. They will guide you. Some people understand better than others, and that is okay. As a student, you have to take advantage of every resource available. There are so many resources that most people are not just taking advantage of. One tip I will give you if you are coming to the UK is that come as early as you can so you would attend your induction, because a lot of people miss out on information that are passed during that period. In my school, some departments would teach international students how to critically analyze, even people that have troubles with English language. Some will teach you about dissertation. Now, these are resources that are available to you, especially if you're an international student watching me, because university knows that as an international student, it may even be harder for you. So they make provisions for things like this. There are departments that teach you study skills. You can also take advantage of the careers and employability departments of your university, where they will teach you not just about the academic part, but even how to become employable when you are done. YouTube is another great resource. For instance, you're watching me right now, it's YouTube. And at the end of this video, my goal will be that you've picked, even if it is one thing, that's it. By the way, if you've picked one thing, let me know what that thing is. And also, please give this video a like, subscribe if you've not subscribed already, and let's continue. Speaking of YouTube, YouTube is something that actually helped me. You know, when you teach people, you are actually making it enter your head very strongly. And that's something else that actually helped me. A lot of times when I would teach and talk about what I've learned, I'm actually making that knowledge firmer in my brain, because I know I talked a lot about social workers, and doing that, I was also reteaching myself. That's something that greatly helped me. Now, if you want to get a distinction, please surround yourself with like-minded people. You see people that will tell you things like, it's not UK, distinction does not matter, the grade you graduate with does not matter, what they care about is your experience, blah 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 blah. Now, whilst some part of that statement is actually true, if your goal is a distinction, why would your closest ally be someone that thinks it doesn't matter? Because they will discourage you. When you're trying to read, they will try to drag you because it does not matter. Do not forget that, see, as an international student, you need to prove yourself twice as much. Period. If you're already in the system, you know what I'm talking about. You have to be twice as good. Now, please, this does not mean if you not get a distinction, that means you are lesser. No. Or that means you will not get jobs. No, not at all. But for whatever reason, you have this goal. So why not just focus on it and be around like-minded people that also have similar goals like you? Another thing I want to say is that, see, being a distinction student is not just by the grade. To have distinction is to be distinct. It's not just to copy and paste. Some people are able to copy and paste and still get distinction. Some people even pay people to write their work and get a distinction. That's not the goal here. The goal is for you to actually let the academics pass through you, such that you're not just good academically, but even when it comes to the practical, you are even better. That is the goal, and that was my goal. By the way, if your focus right now is on how to get jobs, I have an ebook guide that will greatly help you, especially if you desire a job in the healthcare industry. Just check the description and you'll see a link to purchase. Also, if you want me to revamp your CV, check the description and you'll see the link to book that. Finally, I will say be prayerful. This is something that you want to achieve, and I firmly believe that with your efforts and God's grace crowning it, it's going to be very feasible, because that's how it worked for me. I cannot say my story without saying the God factor. That would be me lying. God was and still is the one that just made everything very beautiful and possible for me. So besties, those are my tips about how to get a distinction in your masters. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and more importantly, you've learned from it. If you have, I think the next video on plagiarism will just be chef kiss for you. By the way, my outfit is by my fashion brand adazempire on Instagram. Okay besties, I'm gonna see you in my next one. Bye.